Hello, today we're going to be looking at an infographic and Infopic I designed to accompany my blended learning course design. This course will be designed for a third grade ESOL class where students are pulled out during the reading block and receive instruction in the ESOL classroom. We will be focusing on grade level reading standards as well as the WIDA ELD standards in the domains of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And this specific unit will focus on character feelings, traits, motivations, and how characters' actions can impact the sequence of events in a fiction story. In this course, students will be able to use technology and work from home as well as in the classroom. And it is the same content that I would be teaching in the classroom, but with a twist of integrating more technology. So the focus of the content is in this infographic that I designed, where students will learn how to understand characters. And there's a list of the different types of features they'll be looking at, but also the different types of apps and technology that they'll be using. So the first thing they'll do is learn how to identify characters' feelings and be able to distinguish characters' emotions as well as learn deeper emotions. For example, instead of saying a character seems happy or sad, maybe the character seems very ecstatic or depressed. They'll learn more shades of meaning of vocabulary as far as characters' feelings. Then they will focus on character traits and learning how to distinguish between when a character is having a feeling and when a character is showing a trait over and over, when they show a certain action enough to decide this is a trait for this character. And they'll also be able to distinguish between external character traits versus internal character traits. Then from there, once they identify the difference between feelings and what feelings their characters are showing, what traits their characters are showing, they'll be able to look at the character's motivation, the why of why are these characters acting in certain ways or making the certain decisions that they make, and how this motivation impacts their actions in the story, which then impacts the sequence of events in the story. So they'll be looking at how their characters' actions can impact the plot or events in a story. And they'll be doing this using graphic organizers designed specifically for this standard to help them organize their thinking. And they'll have that choice to use their own book that they choose, which can increase student engagement. And then this is where the technology component comes in. Students will use Flipgrid to create their own videos where they will explain about their characters in the story and use the academic vocabulary learned from this standard. And this will help with public speaking, especially with ESOL learners. They tend to be shy to speak in front of the class. This will give them that opportunity to have privacy where they can speak and still share their voice, but they can do it in more of a private way where they know their peers will be viewing the video, but they don't have to perform live in front of the rest of the class. And another reason this is good besides lowering ESOL students' effective filters is because it enhances collaboration, especially digital or technological collaboration, where their peers are able to provide feedback on their work and they can provide feedback for their peers. So instead of vocally saying it, they can either record a video in response to their peer, or they can leave comments, and that way there is that documentation of their feedback so they can look back on it for the next time they record a video. And finally, I designed this Infopic to help describe characters in a story. So there's just some fun pictures to go along with the different academic vocabulary students will learn. So one is feelings, and I chose to put a bunch of different emojis of different feelings. There's the external traits, and I chose to choose some characters that have clear physical traits and differences. There's internal traits of one character is being sneaky, or their trait is that they are sneaky, and then another one is if a character is helpful, that time and time again they're showing that they are helping other characters out. And then there's going to be motivation. What is the why behind why the characters are doing what they do? And then finally, the sequence of events, because this all ties into how do the characters' feelings impact their traits, impact their motivation, impact their actions, and finally impact the actual events in the story.